We continue on here on the Kansas Sports Channel as we bring in our next guest, and that is going to be Taylor Mires, the head coach of the Kapaun Mt Carmel girls basketball team. And Taylor, appreciate you coming on the show today. I mean, Kapaun playing some good ball right now. Like, what stood out to you about your team, and what is going well so far?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. And really, this year our girls have just like bought in fully. It's really hard to have a completely new staff and to come in and them to just buy in the way they have has been great.
What was it like for you, just kind of making that decision to come over to Kapaun now in your first season as head coach? What was that decision process like for you?
It was a big jump. I actually had to switch jobs because of making that decision. I had picked these girls before that, even knowing what I was going to do after that. It was really kind of an all-in choice for me too, and that's just kind of translated in like how we've done things and how we're moving as a team and as a group, and it's just been a lot of fun.
What was the transition like for the girls, especially early on in the season? Maybe even like going back to November before the year starts in December. But what was that transition like for the girls, just trying to pick up a new system?
Yeah, we've definitely had some growing pains. So it was completely different from what they had played last year and what they had known. They're learning to play that man to man help side defense. We hard hedge. We're really little, so we get creative with our post play. So there's just been a lot of learning, but they're starting to put the pieces together. We talked early about, just focusing in on what we're teaching because it'll come together at the right time, and they're finally starting to see those pieces come together, and so it's rewarding for them to finally get to see what we've been telling them is going to happen actually happen.
You mentioned that man to man help side defense. Like, what's key for you when you're trying to coach that and trying to implement that with your players? Like, what are some of the things you're trying to preach?
Jump to the ball. When ball moves, we should be moving. We also hard hedge, which was a harder concept to teach. Because we're so small, we try to put a little bit more ball pressure up off that ball screen, and keep the pressure outside. So that was different. And then forcing baseline, something that was new to most of them, is they let people go middle a lot. We've been fixing some feet since day one, and that's something they're really tired of me yelling at them.
Well, you talk about your time at Wichita Independent. Like, what'd you pick up there? Like, what kind of things were you learning there at Wichita Independent?
Last year was my first year as a head coach. The program was much different last year than the two previous years that I was an assistant there. We had graduated and lost quite a few kids, and last year was a year of we had some senior cheerleaders who just wanted to see us have a team, and they played. So that was a much different concept. We played zone over there. We were teaching kids, where an elbow was. So the jump from that to this is night and day different. We have kids that want to play and want to be here this year, and that's been, as a coach, it's been a whole lot of fun to just get to engage with that and be at a different level.
Well, I mean, still, and even at Wichita Independent, and being able to win that state title a couple of years back, like go back to that year, and like you're on that staff. Like, what did it take to win a title? Obviously, you got to have good talent, but what is it that grind from start to finish to be able to win a state title?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to work day in and day out, and we had some really good athletes. I'm still with Zoe now. She was a part of that team freshman year. We were young. So getting those girls to stay locked in for the long basketball season was a lot of work. But that was something that they said early on that they wanted. And as coaches, we're gonna fight as long as you're fighting with us. We're fighting for you, and so it was being consistent in the gym and what practices looked like and how hard we were going against each other. And, we had a smaller team. And so a lot of times it looked like coach and I were doing drills, practicing with them just because we'd have kids out and we couldn't even go full court. And so just trying to create that competitive environment. But that year was a lot of fun. We had a lot of athletes, and it was very basketball focused, and it was great.
Talking with Taylor Mires, head coach of the Kapaun Mt Carmel girls basketball team. I mean, how much fun is just 5A West, just keeping up with the standings right now with yourself being really good. I mean, Hayes and Andover, Mays South, and Eisenhower, even Bishop Carroll, who you recently played. Like, how much fun is 5A West this year?
Yeah, it's very competitive. I don't know that everyone expected us to be a part of it the way we are. So I'm super proud of our girls, and they're just really buying in. It's been a different level of basketball than like we were talking about earlier, from last year, and so it's what any coach wants to do. Like you come into this, you coach because you're a competitor, and so it's been great getting to just compete day in and day out. Every night you've got to show up or it goes wrong. So
You talk about showing up and competing. Like, I mean, what's that the city league like? Because I mean, you look at your schedule, obviously, and it's full of the Wichita schedule, like it should be. Like, so, like for you, like what's that Wichita talent like, and just competing in the city leagues?
yeah, I think that there's some really athletic and really talented teams this year, and so we've just like really been, one game at a time, and I think that that's ultimately going to prepare us for what comes at the end of February and getting us ready for sub-state and state tournament time, and just getting to run up and down with some of these bigger schools, play with some of those athletic kids, and some other really good coaches.
So for you, like, what got you interested in coaching? Like, what kind of inspired you to be a coach? What's your basketball background?
So I mean, I've been playing basketball since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. It's always been something that I've done. I played college basketball, and then after graduating, I probably went a year and a half without coaching, and life with basketball just kind of wasn't it for me. I missed it pretty bad, pretty quick, and so I was doing my internship for my master's program in 259, and that's kind of like I just kind of marched down to EJ Garnes at North and was like, hey, I'm gonna come help you coach here, and it was kind of history after that. So then we moved to Independent together, and then ultimately I took over at Kapaun. But yeah, it's just kind of always been a part of it. My grandpa's a pretty big coach out in Texas. He basketball, football, all the things. And so it's kind of just been a part of our family. And I can't imagine not being a part of the basketball world.
Was it Tabor College? Were you a Tabor College Blue
I
Jay?
was a Tabor College Blue Jay, yes.
Okay, so doing my extensive research of the quick Google research, I saw your bio on Tabor College. All right, and so
Oh,
in one of the
no.
questions they asked you on your bio was your pregame jam, and you said your pregame jam was "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey. So like, was that always one of your jams?
I love Christmas, so I'm gonna tell on myself. I'll even turn my camera. I still have my Christmas tree up in my office at work. It's over there in the corner. So I have just always loved Christmas. And I'm sure that when we filled those out, it was probably around Christmas break when we had time. So that's what was on replay.
So do you ever play any Christmas music for the girls now at Capen?
Absolutely. They take the aux from me often. They don't really let me be in control of the aux. They take it over, which I'm okay with. But we do a lot of different things for Christmas. We have our party, and we did a cookie decorating contest, and so we have a lot of fun at that time.
All right, we'll keep those Christmas jams going. It seems to be working. Coach, appreciate the time and best of luck the rest of the season.
All right, thank you so much.
That is Taylor Mires, head coach of the Cape and Mount Carmel girls basketball team. We'll have more of the show right after this.